What's up? Today I got a mixed tier battle. This is a 3RU, 3UU battle against Camelox YX. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but anyways, I'm looking at his team and I'm like, I've got a Scarf Emboar, and he's got a lot of things that can't really take a Flare Blitz or do too much back. I mean, Doug Trio can't take it, Gardevoir can't really take it, Steelix can, and then the rest of his team either is slower than me or has like dark type priority. So it's like not really a big deal. So I'm thinking he's going to be a great lead, especially since he's probably going to lead with Leopard. And if he leads with Steelix, I've got Gligar for him. And yeah, that's really great. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz. He's going to switch out to Doug Trio. He's got the Focus Sash, so I'm guessing he's thinking he can come in, take a hit, trap me in, and kill me with an Earthquake, because he sees as well that I am going to be incredibly difficult to kill. But unfortunately for him, I am Choice Scarfed, and that means that his Doug Trio is going to be completely destroyed. He could have switched out, but I guess he was thinking maybe I'd be Banded. But that's not the case. So Steelix is going to come in. This is the one thing I know I can't take on because A, he has Sturdy, and B, he could be defensive. I go to my Gligar and I'm like, wait a minute, what if he's Sheer Force with Ice Fang? I'm going to risk it anyway because I'm like, I have a lot of defense and this thing's attack is really not that great. But it turns out he's actually defensive as well because he's got Stealth Rock. And he's going to actually switch out too, which further confirms that he is probably max defense. Just like I am. I'm going to go for the knockoff, expecting to want to switch and not take an Earthquake, as that wouldn't really do too much damage to anything on his team, with the exception of perhaps like Leopard or something. But knockoff will be very useful in case I catch a Scarf or, in this case, Leftovers. So I'm going to go switch into my Pharaoh Seed because I figure Psychic, Thunderbolt won't really do too much. He goes for Icy Wind, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. Then he goes for Hypnosis and actually hits it, which is kind of like... I'm like, what is it, 60% I think this gen? 55? That's something like that. I don't really know. Whatever. So I'm asleep, and he's gonna switch out into his Galvantula. There we go. And I'm gonna go with my Slowking, expecting him to stay in with his Gardevoir, and this thing would be a good counter. Knowing that even if he specs, a Thunder cannot kill me with Modest. I'm going to stay in just to get a Scald off, just to see what he wants to do. He hits me with a Bug Buzz, and I'm like, that's not a lot of damage. That's definitely not Specs damage. So is he, like, Scarfed? I don't know. So I'm going to switch out, get my Regenerator boost, and go into my Taria, because it can take a Bug Buzz and go from there. Unfortunately, he's actually Expert Belt, so he's going to go for Thunder, and that is going to hit, but it's really not going to do all that much. I should be able to live the next hit, especially after Leftovers. He's going to paralyze me, but it's not really a big deal because A, I'm slower anyways, and B, I have Natural Cure. Even though if I switch out, I'm going to get killed by rocks. So all I want to do is be able to get a Dragon Pulse off, but he crits me, and I was just like, wow. Now, it didn't matter in that Scarf Emboar doesn't... It's not like he's going to get another speed off. I mean, Scarf Emboar still outspeeds him, but it matters in that I would have had something in that I would have been willing to fodder off, and like he wouldn't have gotten essentially switch advantage, basically, right? Like he would have been able to switch in something to kill Otaria, but which could have been anything because it's paralyzed, and I can't switch out because of Stealth Rocks. But it's like it's still kind of annoying because it forced me to go to Emboar. Here is where I make the only mistake I made pretty much the whole battle. I'm gonna stay in. I know Sturdy is broken because of Stealth Rocks, but I'm like, as soon as I clicked that and locked in, I'm like, fuck this. There's no way this is gonna kill. I really should have just went to Gligar because he switched out before. This completely walls him. There's no way he has Ice Fang if he switched out on a Gligar. And it turns out that's true. Gligar does completely wall this Steelix. I was going to say Onyx. So I really should have done that. That would have really been great. But I'm going to go Slowking because I figure a Gligar is not really great against his Icy Wind packing Gardevoir. So I'll go to Slowking, and it can take Gardevoir on because I don't think he'll have a Thunderbolt as his, like... He's got a weird set already, I don't know. But he's going to get another crit on the Earthquake. I definitely could have lived that, even if he's max attack. I definitely could have lived that. So that's the second crit that was really irritating. He also got the Paralysis, which didn't really matter. And the Hypnosis hit, so... He's kind of hexing me out. So now I go into Gligar, and here, as I said, is a bit of a stalwart. he's just gonna kind of screw around with Smackdown, Earthquake, Protect, just to gain some leftovers and stuff. And I'm just like kind of annoyed that he's doing that because he should know I have Roost and I can't really take that much damage. But yeah, so he's gonna switch out to his God of War because he can, right? And I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, and that's gonna do a nice chunk. And considering it doesn't have leftovers, it's actually pretty good. But I know I can't stay in because Icy Wind is just too threatening to me. Because I mean, again, a physical hit, but a special hit, no, I cannot take Icy Wind. So I'm gonna go to Pharaoh Seed, and Icy Wind's not really gonna do all that much. Because it's like a 55 base power attack, and I have mixed defenses with Violate, so yeah. It's going to go for actually Dream Eater, which is like, yeah, it's stab, but it's resisted, and that really doesn't do too much. So anyways, so he's going to go for the Icy Wind again. Don't really know why he didn't just keep going for Dream Eater. He would have been at least healing up, as I'm just sitting here and not waking up from my sleep. So I'm like, I figure at this point, I'm like, okay, if I don't wake up now, I'm kind of screwed, but I do wake up and I do get off a leech seed, which is actually really great. So that means I can gain back some recovery, and I know he basically can't kill me because I do have Protect, and I can just kind of stall him out. But I know for a fact he's going to want to switch out this turn. I was expecting him to go into his Mightyena or his Leopard, but he actually goes into Steel, so it's just bad. So I was going to go for the Leechy, but I'm like, no, I'll go for the Thunder Wave. One of them might be Scarfed, or, you know, I was expecting Mightyena to be Life Orb with Sheer Force. And that would have been great, but no, their freaking Steelix comes in, and Thunderwave does nothing. If I had gotten a Leech Sheet off, I could have protected, and then switched out and stuff, but I'm like, at this point, I have too little HP to really do that, so I'm just going to let it die, which is like, I sort of was expecting to live the hit, to be completely honest, because, I mean, Steelix, again, doesn't really have the greatest attack, and I do have max HP with half max defense and Evaluate, so I was sort of kind of expecting to live that, but yeah, I didn't. So anyways, Gligar's gonna come in here and basically finish out this stall job. He can't really do too much. He does have Smackdown, so Earthquake is gonna be able to hit me, but it's only gonna do like 50-60 damage, and I can roost off like almost triple that. So yeah, there's really, even if he gets another crit, there's really nothing he can do to me. So I'm gonna roost up. I could roost again, but it's like, I'm going for the knockoff kill, just kind of half expecting it to switch, but half just kind of wanting it to be a knockoff kill. But it actually doesn't even kill. I'm just like, ugh, fuck. That's basically the summary of the battle right there. Just shit not going my way. So I'm gonna roost up again, and he's gonna hit me with another Earthquake, and yeah, I'm just gonna go for Earthquake this time. Not even bother with the knockoff. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, he's gonna die. I was gonna send him to God of War, and I'm like, I'm going to need to take an Icy Wind because I don't want my my Alakazam to come in and get reduced speed, because I know I'll be screwed against whatever else he has. I really need to be faster because I do have Substitute, so I can get around Sucker Punch, which likely both Mightyena and Leopard have. So that's why I stayed in, because I knew he'd Icy Wind. And it's like, I don't really need speed drops, because that would be bad. Although I could have probably gone for the Substitute on his God of... I don't know. It was... I ended up living the Icy Wind and killing his God of War. But yeah, he's going to go into his Mightyena and get off a Crunch. I'm not sure if it... Like, I was expecting it to be Scarfed because he didn't have Life Orb. But then again, he could still be Life Orb. No, he couldn't. Never mind. He's got Moxie, not Sheer Force. Does this thing even get Sheer Force? I think I'm confusing it. I don't know. I think it only gets Moxie. Never mind. I don't know. Whatever. So I'm just going to go for the sub a couple times, expecting him to maybe go for the Sucker Punch. But then I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm like, okay, he's Scarfed. That makes kind of sense. So I'm going to go for the Focus Blast, and that is going to thankfully hit. I was expecting it to miss, just to kick me in the balls. But yeah, it's not going to, which is great. But Leopard kind of counters Alakazam because he's got Prankster and he's got Encore. So if I do sub, he can just Encore me into that. And then Snatch, which I believe will steal Substitute. I know it steals like boosting moves and healing moves. But it doesn't really matter because he can just basically lock me into Substitute until I struggle, and then like I'll kill myself in 2 turns because it does 25% to me. And yeah, he's got Sucker Punch, so it's like I couldn't beat it. So yeah. But you know, Hypnosis hit, and the two crits were both really kind of fucking irritating. The reason, if you're noticing that my team is so like defensive and kind of balanced, is because this was actually a tournament match. But yeah, I clearly lost, so I'm no longer in the tournament. But you know, whatever. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, peace out.